Trump is a very, very good bully.
Dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
It's also not an insult, because while it's also the case that if you're on the world stage and you're dealing with the pathological rulers of pathological states, the probability that you're going to be dealing with bullies is 100%. And Trump actually knows how to do that. And so it makes him unpredictable.
The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world.
It's hard for me to get it right, because it's a limitation in a way, and that's partly what makes Trump such a divisive figure, because people respond with aversion to that bullying element of his character. But it's hard to criticize it too deeply, because it's also arguably what makes him an extremely effective debater, and also possibly capable of making peace on the international stage.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because people don't know what the hell he's going to do.
What makes Donald Trump such a polarizing figure, and what qualities are essential for those aspiring to enter politics? In this insightful interview, Jordan Peterson delves into the complex character of Donald Trump, describing him as a highly effective bully on the world stage. Peterson acknowledges that while many people find Trump's bullying nature divisive, it also makes him a formidable debater and a potentially unpredictable negotiator in international affairs. For Peterson, the path to political competence requires honesty, articulateness, historical and economic knowledge, and a broad understanding of various disciplines. He calls for individuals who are competent, careful, truthful, courageous, and forthright to step into the political arena to prevent societal degeneration and promote improvement.
What I came to understand was that the issues that most deeply concerned me weren't political, they were spiritual or psychological. Psychological first, say, then spiritual above that.
Yep.
And so I was looking for a spiritual solution, so to speak, in the political, and that was inappropriate. And I came to realize that as I continued to study, and then moved into clinical psychology, and then beyond that, let's say. So what's the upshot of that? That doesn't mean that the political has no point and no purpose, and it doesn't mean that you're allowed to be counterproductively cynical about the political.
Political. It's a mistake to be fatally cynical about politics, because for all the reasons there are to be fatally cynical about politics, there's much more reason to be fatally cynical about the conflict that will inevitably arise, or the tyranny that will inevitably manifest itself if we can't handle the dirty business of politics properly. So I would say don't become prematurely cynical about it. The next thing I would say is, what do you know? And that's a very important question. It's like, what does it mean to get into politics exactly? Does that mean to seek political power? Does that mean to seek power? Well, first of all, you shouldn't be seeking power. You should be seeking competence. And in order to seek competence, you better know something. And so I would say, well, if you want to get into politics, you want to educate yourself. You know, in all the things you need to be educated in life. I mean, you can start to play the political game to familiarize yourself with it, but you know, it's not such a bad idea to have a job for a while and maybe a career, and maybe it's not such a bad idea to have a successful career upon, in which people are dependent on you, so that you start to understand what that sort of responsibility means. And then maybe it's not such a bad idea to have a family, because like human beings mature adult, human beings tend to have families, and they transform when they have families, because when you have children, then someone becomes more important to you than you are, and you're not mature until that happens. And so that's necessary. And so I would say, well, make sure that if you're looking to get into politics, that you're even more looking to get into competence, and that you learn everything you can possibly learn. That would make you a reasonably wise person by the time you attain whatever level of power authority, let's say, you might be seeking. I mean, I've seen lots of people get into politics, happens with ideologues, and the way they ratchet themselves up the power hierarchy is by being more effective avatars, puppets of their particular ideological stance, and there's nothing about that that's useful. There's nothing in it that will solve any real-world problems, and there's plenty that will make it much worse. And so if that's what getting into politics means, I would say stay the hell away from it. But if it's a matter of developing your character, and then at some point adopting your social responsibility, then go for it, and more power to you, because we need people who are competent and careful and truthful and courageous and forthright to enter the political sphere so that things don't degenerate and hopefully have some chance of at least maintaining themselves or improving. So what do you need to know? You need to be really good at least one thing. You have to specialize. You have to be a great networker. You have to know a lot of people. You have to be honest. You have to be articulate. You have to have a vision. You have to have a strategy. You have to know something about history and economics and politics. Be good to know something about science. You have to be a polymath of sorts before you should dare to enter that realm with any degree of confidence. Because otherwise all you are is a loose cannon, and you'll come up with global proposals to improve the world. By waving your wand that will do nothing but make everything worse. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content.